Subaru. Look at that. Oh, there we go. What we've got here is a bit of a hodgepodge. She's not pretty. This here is a late 60s Heathkit Boonie bike. Fixing it for a customer. It's been spray bombed. It's got a nice original front wheel. Rear tire's been replaced. And it's got a Subaru. Guessing it's about 5 horse, 170cc. They say 6 horse, I call nonsense. It's got a TAV housing on it, but I think they actually cut the frame to fit that. We'll be pulling off the cover here shortly, figuring all that out. They've got some weird little beam holding the motor in place. I think that motor plate is actually bent a little bit. That's nice. I'm going to be doing a little work to fix that. I mean, I'm just going to cut it flush and weld it in place so it doesn't get any worse. It's just going to be a fix it as cheap as possible. He wants the grandkids to ride it. Throttle's loose. Motor has been sitting. It was a running operating mini bike about 5 years ago, so he claims. And I mean, I'm willing to believe that it was actually a functioning piece not too long ago, but how well did it function is kind of my question. Man, the seat was so nice until the mice got to it. Damn. Anyways, so I'm gonna pretty much start this off by just doing all the basics first. Pull off the air cleaner, see how bad the tank is, get that clutch cover off, and then we kind of go from there. Alright, standard Comet torque averter, Comet 30, TAV, whatever you want to call it. And they actually did cut a pretty sizable chunk out of that motor plate to make that work, which is interesting, but whatever. Chain looks okay, chain clearance is decent. I'm just going to lubricate it all up. Back chain might have to replace. I'm going to have to pull this clutch apart. It's free moving, but there's enough rust in there. I want to clean that up before I try using it. So yeah, it was kind of interesting how they did this. So I mean, they cut a pretty sizable chunk out of it to make it fit. I don't feel anything on the other side indicating that it's hitting. Same with on the faceplate, so it must work. And then they actually cut the cover to fit all the way around. Kind of interesting. But yeah, what I'm going to do here next, I'm going to grab the spark tester, pull off the cover, and we're going to see if we got spark. Got the spark tester on. Set to the on position. I don't know if you can see that very well. We got spark. Neat. We got some pretty stale, nasty gas in there. She doesn't smell very good. Ugh. So, yeah, it's got pretty good compression. I wonder if she'll run. Let's try that out quick. Put this plug wire back on. Give her a little sniff and see if she'll fire. And that's choke. We'll see how bad it is and might be able to just tear it apart and clean it. Starting off, she's a little cruddy. That's what I want to see. That's sarcasm. Yeah, gel, other junk. The fact that no gas is coming out is not a good sign. See if this will open up. Shut that fuel off again. And that's an 11 mil. Nope. It's just that little sediment trap. And yeah, it caught some sediment. Ugh. Even that, no gas. Great. Through process of elimination, we had no gas coming out here. Pull open the sediment bowl. That was all full of junk, but no gas is coming out here. Pulled apart the shutoff, and even directly in the port that I'm pushing into right now, no gas is coming out. And the tank is actually clean. I pulled out the filter. There's very little crud in there. I'm guessing we got us a clogged fuel line, or it's clogged right here where it meets. Alright. I used to have a nice fleet of different fuel clamps and stuff like that. I don't know whatever happened to all of them. I know some were from Sears, so I had to leave them with the company van when I left it. And look at that. She's dripping out a little bit. Yeah, I'll just let it drip down with some paper towel. Is that free flowing? Oh yeah, she is. So it's in the carb somewhere. Somewhere in this little piece here. So let's see if we can slide this off of here. Never tangled with one of these style before. There we go. That does just pop out. We got to pull up on it a little bit. Oh yeah, look at that. Clogged right up. Like I said before, the carb itself doesn't look too bad. So, might be able to save it. Yeah, the workbench is a freaking disaster. But we're just going to go in there slowly by hand. Just like that. Broke through. That was a solid pile of sludge right there. Ugh. Where's my curb cleaner? So that was it. I'll get in there with a pipe cleaner and really kind of scrub that out. And I just want to take a minute from this video and talk to you guys about something pretty important to me. I know it might be to some people. It's kind of more of a Wisconsin thing, upper Midwest thing. And it means a lot to me. Blats. I love it so much. It makes life so much better. The Blats a day keeps the idiots away. Alrighty, so got the carb cleaned out, put back together. Like I mentioned, it was the fuel inlet that was completely clogged. Got that cleaned out. Ended up replacing the O-ring and the fuel shutoff valve. That was all cracked and dry rotted. It was almost guaranteed to leak. So let's get it back together. Moment of truth. That right now is still with the fuel off, but so far no leaks. Turn the fuel on, and so far no leaks. I'm content with that. What I'm going to do is get my screwdriver, open that drain, and make sure it's actually flowing. There we go. Oh, come on, get on there. Minty. And we got no flowage. You kidding me? Ugh. Oh, why the hell is it not working? Oh, wait, hold on. There we go. All right. Let's see what happens now. That's how a clone is supposed to sound. Then what I'm going to do is I'll let it run for a little bit and I'll drop that oil out of there. Well, she's ready to go. I ended up getting a phone call and I kind of worked and talked while I was, dealing with the guy. So I didn't quite film everything. I at least got the footage of it running. And after that, it was just little stuff. The chains were like this one here. This was the small one on the other side. And it is just crunchy and worn out and rusty. And it's after I cleaned it. So I replaced that. I had some spare O-ring chain, stabbed that in there, changed the oil. You guys don't need to see me changing oil. And then just little stuff. So, I got the throttle cleaned up. I loosened up the thing, lubricated it, pulled this apart, lubricated it. Nice quick return, so if you fall, it goes back. Brakes are working. I mean, everything just kind of fell in place. So tomorrow I'm going to try getting a little footage of it riding. The guy's going to probably come out in the morning to grab it, so I won't have it for very long. But, nice little revival of somebody else's old bike. And the torque converter is actually set pretty interestingly on there. Personally, if it were me, that sprocket would be bigger. It doesn't launch very hard, and it's got way too high of a top end for as low as that motor is spinning, which I actually like the setup. It's a good cruiser, but because I was cruising probably a good 25 miles an hour and the thing barely is at half throttle. So this thing probably would do 35, 40. But I think the torque curve is dying out before the torque converter would hit peak. So that's why I'm thinking like 35. A little bit of oomph out of that motor, she'd probably scoot pretty darn quick on the straight line. But that's it, everybody, and hopefully I'll have some driving footage tomorrow. I'm going to call the customer tonight, let him know that it's ready. If he comes picks it up tonight, then this is the end of the video. If not, I'll take it out for a little spin and we'll have some fun. And one other thing I forgot to do, I just did it real quick. Had a little push button kill switch. Apparently the grandkids are going to be riding this, and if they crash or get out of hand, it's easier to just hit a thumb button than try reaching down on these clone motors.